Hey there, this is Katherine Cartwright. Welcome to ScrapbookPal channel. I've got a couple of products from Spellbinders. I've got this Evergreen Foliage. There are 3 large dies in there and then a sweet little die that has 2 little ladybugs on it. And then some stamps that coordinate with it, this Winter Garden Sentiments. This is part of a winter garden line from Spellbinders, and these are the 2 items that I am going to be using. They have lots of sentiments for Christmas. There's also a winter one and this cute little holly leaf and berries as well. So I'm going to make 3 projects today, and I'm going to start off. I have cut these branches from an alcohol marker friendly cardstock. And I've got some Copics here. I am just going to do a really quick coloring on these. I'm going to use this brown E25, and so I'm going to work on the stems first, and then I'm going to come back and work on the foliage. So you could make these any color, any shade you wanted to, and I'm just going along and doing these stems first. And I'm just flicking my color on there. I've got paper underneath here to catch any of the excess. And I'm making a pretty solid image here. I'm not leaving too much white on the stem. I'm going to leave a little bit more white on the foliage. I'm going to come in here with some greens. I've got G29 on this first one. And I am just going to do some flicking here. I am not solid coloring it. I'm not laying down multiple layers. I wanted to add a little bit of interest to this by having some parts of white. You could go back and add more colors to it. You could kind of draw lines for your foliage if you wanted to. But I wanted to show you how quick and easy it is to create these beautiful stems. So I'm just, again, flicking these onto my cardstock. And then I'm going to have some extra white included as well. So again, the flicking is just kind of laying the color down, and I'm going around here on this. I got to come back and fix that stem. I noticed that I didn't fill in the stem on this one, so that's why I'm leaving that. I'm trying to move this cardstock around so you can see the foliage there, but it's getting all the little colors are kind of behind it where I'm flicking, but I think you get the idea. I'm going to move on to the next one. I'm going to come back here first though with E15 and fill in my stem that I missed earlier. And I'm just kind of blending that a little bit into the green. Again, now I'm going to add some glitter and a little bit of crystals on here later, but you can see there's some white spots there. Hopefully that will look like a real stem that you would see the light coming through. I've got G46 on this one. So each of these pieces of foliage are different. I don't know particularly what foliage they are. We love trees at our house, but I don't, maybe one of these is a pine, it looks like. But again, you can make them whatever color you want to. And this one's a little bit smaller, so very quick and easy on that one. And then I will fill in any little large, I'm filling in any little large white spots, but you can see there's definitely some white areas left behind. Moving to Y67 on this one. So I just pulled some different shades of green out. There on this particular branch, there are some little circular areas that I'm going to put berries on. So that's why they've got this kind of strange shape at the top. I'm just going to come back and fill those in with another color. So I'm leaving those white for now. I've got this beautiful B39, a gorgeous deep rich blue, and I'm just kind of drawing some circles here. My little berries, they're very organic, like they would be in nature. That's what I always tell myself when things are not perfect is, oh, it's organic. So you can make it look really good, and it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. I'm going to bring back my brown here and add a little bit of stems where I want to fill in where the blue was. And then I've got my green to come back and finish off any little areas that had a little bit too much white. So a lot of fun with these. And again, like I say, you could do these, you could cut these from watercolor paper and watercolor them. There's a lot of fun that you could have with these. I am on this larger stem going to come back with a couple of more browns. I just felt that that stem was quite large and it sort of overpowered the foliage. So I wanted to add a little bit more darkness to kind of pull your eye away from the largeness of the stem and that it would blend in more with the green. All right, now I've got some multi-matte medium, I think is what it's called. It's from Ranger. It's a great adhesive. And I am going to paint use this brush on this one and paint the edges of my foliage. I've got a little bit of some glitter here, some rock candy glitter, and I'm going to glitter the edges. It's a little hard to see on camera. It's much prettier in person, but I'm just going to flick this on there. Just don't do this with the air conditioning. You can see I've got it flying everywhere. I had the air conditioning on because it's quite warm where I live, and so I got a little bit of glitter everywhere. And I'm just going back and filling in any spots that I might have missed. I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to bring in this frosted crystal. I'm going to put that onto my stems. So I'm adding some of this adhesive to my stems, and then I will come back and add this frosted crystal. It gives just a little bit of texture and a little bit of a kind of a wintry look to me. And so I'm just going to apply that directly on and shake that off. And then I will let that dry. You can add as much of this as you want to. You could add layers of it to build it up. And I'm just going to finish on this last one. And then I will let those dry. And I can put my card together. So what I have done is I created a card base here. I used a Slimline, everything's dry. I used a Slimline folder from Spellbinders that I had in my collection. I have stamped the Wintry Wishes, and here is that folder. I've got it linked in the description. So I ran that through, piece of cardstock through with my Slimline, and then I'm going to glue everything down. You can see I've sped this up. I added just a little bit of liquid glue to the back of my foliage pieces here. And then this went onto a Slimline card base. I stamped that Wintry Wishes using a Katherine ink. And then I've got some foam tape here. This, I think they're called creative sheets. I'm going to cut this to size. I love that I can cut it to size. And I'm going to add this to the back of my ovals. And then this will go over in between two of these stem pieces. So just a fun way to use this branch. I'm going to call them branches. Evergreen set. So that is the first one, and I stamped one of the sentiments inside. Okay, the next way I'm going to use this is I have cut these branches again from brown cardstock. When I saw these, I just kind of felt that I wanted to work with some warm colors with this, some wintry colors. And so I've got this Ranger Stickles glitter glue. If you've ever watched my channel, you know that I love my stickles. They're very reasonably priced. They have a lot of bling in the glue. They dry flat, which I actually really like a lot for mailing. I'm a huge fan of stickles. So if you're not familiar with it, be sure to check it out in the store. It is a great product. So on the left, it has already dried, but I just wanted to show you how I applied this. Sometimes I want glitter without the whole piece being a piece of glitter paper, if that makes sense. So by just applying a little bit, I get the sparkle, but I still have the cardstock that you can see as well. I'm using this beautiful Pretty Pine stamp that's also from Spellbinders. I stamped this twice onto a piece of Slimline paper, and I used I think I used kind of a green color that was a similar tone to the cardstock, And then I've cut a couple of pieces of paper. I've got a little bit of a non-traditional color scheme going, although that paper looks a little orange on camera. It really is more red. It's just the camera is making it look kind of orange. But I'm going to stamp one of my sentiments. May the spirit of Christmas be with you throughout the new year. So I'm going to add all of this to a Slimline card base. My Slimline card base, I should say, is 3.5 inches by 8.5 inches. And then I'm going to come back here. I've added some liquid glue to the back of my top branch. Everything is nice and dry. And then I'm going to add it to the bottom branch, that larger one. And then I will add my sentiment onto that red paste. And you can see I made a mistake, so I just flipped it over and stamped it again. I love to recycle my cardstock when I make stamping mistakes. All right, so now I'm going to put this red piece in the middle between these two. And then these will go onto the card base. And this is one of those cards, it's so much prettier in person. I think that the camera just doesn't do it justice. Of course, I'm biased, but that between the glitter glue and that gorgeous background, just another great way to use this foliage. Just making it simple, cutting the paper out, and then adding your glitter glue. I've got a couple of gemstones here that I'm going to add. I'm going to pick a red. It's a little bit brighter red than that cardstock to kind of finish that card off. And we've got another slimline. So I've made 2 slimlines, and then this last one is going to be a tag. This is the Pink Fresh Studio foldable shaker tag. I also cut some of these pieces from a green cardstock, the branches, and I wanted to use them, but obviously that branch is a little large. I didn't want it quite so large on this tag, but I wanted to use this tag. I have stamped and embossed with gold powder the Merry Christmas. And then they're also included in that Pink Fresh Studio tag set. There's this really cute foldable tag reinforcer. So I've cut this from the same green as my branch, and I'm just going to add that to my tag. It makes sure that your tag is nice and sturdy so you don't have any worries about it tearing. So cute. So many cute elements in that. Now I'm going to take a little bit of ink here. I've got some Katherine Pooler, I think this is called Grass Skirt, and I'm just going to take an ink blender, blend around a little bit on these little foliage pieces, just to kind of set them apart a little bit on my cardstock. So I'm just going to run that around each one. I love to do this. It's an extra little step, but it really does just set your product, your whatever you're using, your die cut, I guess I should say, really helps set it apart on your project. And here's this last little one. And then I'm just going to come around and start gluing them down. I've got this largest piece. It's just a fun way, another fun way to use this foliage, these beautiful branches. I'm going to add this one to the top, and then I'll come around and add some more of them. Again, just kind of going for an organic look. And then I will add these other pieces. I am going to have to add another little piece in a minute, and you'll see that I had a little open space. So let me add over here on the left, and then I'll come back and trim those once they are dry. So I've got this one up here, and then one more that I already had cut. But when I added that one, I didn't like the space on the bottom. After I trimmed this off, it just felt a little too large of a gap. So I'm going to trim the back of this, turn this over so I can see where I'm cutting and hopefully not cut into my tag. And then I will do the bottom edge as well. You can see all those little pieces flicking off, and then what you have left behind, I love, is a great tag. I love to make my own tags. That is a big thing I enjoy doing in the holiday season. I need to do those for some birthday cards too. I tend to let that slip up on me. I love to make them at Christmas, but I need to make more for like birthday gifts. All right, here I came and I cut another little tiny piece of that tag just to kind of balance out the top and fill in my space. So there you have, you could leave it just like that, put a little string in there, but I'm going to add a little bit of burlap to here. I thought that would look nice with the foliage. I'm going to pull this, well, this is just some burlap twine, I guess, from my stash. It's nice and thick, and I'm going to leave the tails pretty long. So when I get ready to tie it to a gift, I've got plenty of room, depending on what the gift is. I had a few little jingle bells in my craft stash. I've had these for years, and I thought it would be fun to add this little element to my tag. So I took 3 of the jingle bells. I have a gold, a red, and a green. I went on and tied them onto this kind of green floss, or thinner string, I guess you would say. Definitely not a twine. And I went on and tied the 3 of them and together, and now I'm going to tie this on to my tag. So you got a fun little element on there, very quick and easy. I'm going to tie this a 3rd time just to make sure that we've got a nice tight knot on there so my jingle bells won't fall off. I'm going to trim that. Sorry, my hand's in the way. I'm going to trim that down, and then there's still a little tiny piece that needs to come off. I don't like that little piece sticking up. So I'm going to grab the tail and trim that up. And there you have an adorable tag with that stamp and the foliage set. So you can make a bunch of these, and you could change the colors. You could color with the Copic markers like I did in the beginning. So here's that Slimline with the Copics, and then the beautiful stamp on the inside. Wintry Wishes. Got this other Slimline going the other direction, and some glitter glue on that, and a beautiful background stamp, and then finally the Merry Christmas. So this set has everything you need to work on your holiday Christmas cards, and I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to subscribe to ScrapbookPal. If you aren't already a subscriber, there's so much great content over here on the channel as well as the blog. So I look forward to seeing you next month, and have a great day. Be well.